Kevin Millar, speaking of national, Major League Baseball network analyst. How are you, bud?
Big D, what are you doing, buddy?
I don't know. I was trying to make a segue there, and I didn't do a very good job. I somehow lumped you in with farving somebody, so I apologize.
That's okay, brother.
You would never do that, right?
No, I wouldn't do that. I don't do the pitchers in Texas.
Never again, right?
Never again, Dan.
If best prank you ever played on a teammate?
Best prank, huh? Man, you know what? Dempster and those boys were the better pranksters. I was just a loud, funny guy, so I didn't really prank.
Best one that you saw, though, of what other guys pulled off?
Well, freezing taking the guys' underwear and stuff out of their locker and putting it in the freezer, and next thing you know, after the game, it's hanging in their locker frozen, So you get their clothes and stuff was frozen, so you can't obviously wear anything home other than maybe some gym shorts. So some rookies there.
Did you ever get a teammate who was angry at you? Like certain guys that you couldn't pull pranks on?
You always know. That's why you got 25 Eagles, right? So you got to know who you can get on and who you can't. Some guys are more sensitive. A guy like you probably have been the guy that had to pat on the butt. You couldn't get on Dan Patrick. You know what I'm saying? Because you're a little soft, right, Dan?
What about sort of like Schilling?
Yeah, Schilling. It only took 1 minute to get to Schilling. No, Schilling actually, he's witty, and for being the guy he is, you can get on him. Now he's very witty. He's going to come back at you, but we had no problem when he walked in the 04 clubhouse. He came with his chest out. Him and Rain Johnson with Arizona, and I said, no, Chill. This is the Sox. So you break him down for a little bit, but you know what? He's good about when you ragged on him.
I don't think his chest was out. I think his belly was out when he walked in there.
Belly or chest, but skin color immediately looks like he rolled in a bag of flour. So immediately you can start there.
How tough is it that Terry Francona not going back for the celebration, 100-year celebration of the Red Sox?
Well, it's sad but you understand where Tito's coming from. The wounds are fresh, probably, and whatever went on behind the scenes. I wasn't in the meeting, but you got to understand that it is still fresh, and Tito has his views. Larry Lucchino and the Red Sox, have their views. But, like I said, he was a part of what went on, obviously. I think the fans, would like to see him there. But, once again, there's going to be so much going on. There's so many great players coming in town. And, I think it just time heals. That's the big thing.
Kevin Millar, Major League Baseball Network, co-hosts Intentional Talk with Chris Rose on MLB Network at 5 Eastern, available on DirecTV channel. Yeah?
I got full service, but they hit a button on their side.
Are you
there?
Wait. Are you there? Was something happen there? All right. Yeah, I thought we had him there. Did he think that I was done with him? DirecTV channel 213. Kevin, you still there?
You left me. What'd you do? Hit a button? Mute?
No, I didn't do anything. I was giving you a promo there. I was giving you a little love there.
Love, all right. Intentional Talk love?
Yes.
Okay. When are you going to come on our show, by the way?
You haven't asked me.
Well, okay, it's 4-0. I've been on your show, so I'm going to ask you to come on my show. I'm going to book you. I'll get back to the studio. We're going to book Dan Patrick on Intentional Talk. You might have to go sleeveless, though. I don't want you in a suit and tie.
All right. Well, I'll show the guns if I need to.
All right, deal.
I'm going to wear stirrups, eye black, and nothing else.
No.
No, I mean, no, I'm not. Okay. Well, you were there when Damon did his naked pull-ups, right?
Yeah, he did his naked pull-ups. He was the one guy you've never. It's hard to explain, but we have a 7:05 game. Johnny Damon would be running around doing his pull-ups. It's 6:54, and I'm like, dude, I'm the guy that had to be ready out there running, dressed at 6:40, thinking about how many ground balls I'm going to hit the shortstop. Johnny Damon, literally could put his uniform on quicker than anybody, and at about 7:08, he was on second base with a double.
Who was inspired by his naked pull-ups?
Oh, myself. Probably just because overall, he's the guy. You know what? He is one of the greatest teammates you can ever have, and it still amazes me why it took so long for him to sign. He just signed with Cleveland last night. They agreed to a deal. But, come on. He's still productive. Guy's over 300 hits away from 3,000. He's got a healthy body. I think that's underrated. The guy's played 145-plus games in, 15 straight years, 16 straight years. But, yeah, he is one of the greatest teammates, guys you could play with, is Johnny Damon.
The Ozzie Guillen fallout, down for 5 games, but I'm just trying to figure out the importance of managers. If you're saying the most important manager in all of baseball for his team, could you single out one guy with he does more, means more to his team than somebody else does?
It's a great question. I think your great managers stay back, let their players be the front of the line. I think you look at a Jim Leland, you look at a Bobby Cox for years, and Joe Torre. You never saw them out, on the front, but you knew who the manager was, right? Tony La Russa was probably the one guy that you heard a lot about, and he was crafty and smart, with what he did, some of the things, putting the pitcher in the eighth hole, ninth hole in his mind. But I don't know, Dan. I mean, it's interesting because, obviously what went on in Miami, it's a very disturbing statement, hands down. I played in Miami. I have a lot of Cuban friends. I played with Ray Ordonez in '93 for the St. Paul Saints when he defected from Cuba. I've seen the pain. He had his wife over there and couldn't come back. So the Fidel Castro regime was just, there's so many massive wounds that were opened up over a stupid statement, a stupid comment, right? And, Levon Hernandez in '97 pitching the World Series for the Florida Marlins. His mother couldn't come over to watch him. So there's so much pain that, this situation now, it's very disturbing. But I think, once again, we're going to fall in that same, time's going to heal. Ozzie apologized. Now it's going to be, I don't think anybody knows what's going to happen when they get back, Are there going to be protesters? But, it's a sad situation because it was such a happy time for Florida, with that new stadium and the new team they have.
I was watching some of the pitching performances yesterday. Lincecum got torched. Verlander had it until the ninth. Roy Halladay.
I'm not losing. They're losing me. You guys there?
Yeah.
Okay. I got you now.
Will you guys spend some money on technology there at the Major League Baseball Network? I'm not going to go on intentional talk.
Hey, I'm with Tony Bettini right now. I'm going to tell him what you said.
All right, that's fine. You can tell him. I was watching some of the pitching performances, but Strasburg still fascinates me because, do you baby him? Is he a 5-6 inning pitcher? He throws 108 pitches. What do you see as far as the arc for him this year, considering what he's coming back from?
I mean, this is what bothers me at this level. It's the big leagues. So if you make the roster, you should be able to perform to your ability all season long. So why do we have to put him on pitch counts? Why do we have to put him in innings things? I understand the investment. He's coming back, but this kid's strong. I mean, last night he threw 108 pitches for the first time in his career. Well, you're looking at the Nationals team, Dan. If you're a player on the team, you have a chance to win. And Davey Johnson said, himself, if we don't make the playoffs, fire me. This is a good ball club. They got balance. And they're going to need Steven to throw more than 165, 170 innings. I promise you that come down September. If they're battling for a wild card or battling for the East, you want this guy just to kind of go to the side, or if the front office says, hey, guys, sorry, now we're going to have to move in, Lanahan is going to be our ace. So I think that's where you're going to have to just kind of see how the season goes. But, I mean, his velocity right now is remarkable, and he looks strong and he looks healthy.
It's good to visit with you. Have your people call my people, and I'll see if I can help you with intentional talk. Whatever. All right. Call him and tell him we tried. That was intentional talk. It was just not intentional listen. All right. Kevin Millar.